What is good, everybody? What is good? It's Big Game James, and we're back in the building, man. And it's me and my girl, Stargazer, the Big Star Show. We're back for another episode. And this is a good special episode, Star, because we got something big and ready to happen on this Saturday game that we've been waiting for. It seems like a million thousand years. Hopefully that has broken the curse. But before we jump all into that, how you doing, Miss Star? How was your holidays? How was everything going with you? And then we're going to talk some good Cowboys football.
What's up, Big? Doing good, doing great. Had a good holiday. Hung out, spent time with my family, as we do every year. It's like an annual thing for us. So feeling good to, be back here for the Big Star Show and talk about some Cowboys football. And as you said, some big thing, a huge thing for our organization coming up in about 2 days. So it's going to be very exciting. I know it's something that fans have been wanting since forever. You know what I'm saying? And I think for the fans, on Saturday, it will feel like a curse is lifted, or a weight has been lifted off of the fan base because we finally feel like, Jerry and Jimmy, they've rectified their relationship. Jerry's rectifying his wrongs. And hopefully, that doing the right thing carries weight for us going into the postseason. Because we've had a lot of fluky things happen to us in the postseason, especially during that Romo era and the Dak Prescott era. So if we could we could have some luck from the football guys, some love from the football guys, because you do need luck and some love from the football guys to win a Super Bowl. Regardless of how good your team is, you do need some things to fall your way. So hopefully that can happen for us this year. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you're saying, the football guys, especially with the luck thing, he ain't been on our side on these field goal kickers. Now, he has been on our side for the field goal kickers with Brandon Aubrey because he's been amazing, right? But, okay, I don't want to jinx. I don't want to jinx, but it's just he's been making them all, right? I mean, okay, listen to me, Star.
Oh, man.
I don't want to get his jinx where he make them all year. and then
it happens
it always happens to us. You feel me? It always happens to us. So I'm just praying that the football guys don't do that to us because I just keep on seeing this streak. You never missed one. I want you to miss one. Star, I want you to miss one before the playoffs. Okay? That's my wish right now. I want Brandon Aubrey to miss one field goal before the playoffs. Do y'all hear me?
Because our guy was red hot last year. He was red hot going into the playoffs.
You feel me?
Just got the yips.
Just get it out the way. Miss it. Get it out the way so you can feel good because you know they're going to be saying that in the playoffs, Star. He hasn't missed one yet.
Yeah, they keep saying
Look, one of the biggest field goal kicks in his life.
The biggest field goal kick of the year. Be the kick that can send
I'm just saying. Stop. I'm just saying. Get it out the way. I'm keeping it real. Let's just get it out the way. Okay. But
just miss one on purpose.
I mean, just miss it. I don't give a hell. You miss some damn extra points. Just get it out the damn way. So we don't got so it don't got to be in your head when you in these playoffs. Cause don't tell me you ain't gonna feel some kind of pressure as a rookie and you ain't missed one damn field goal and you got maybe the game on the line or you kicking one of them 50-something yarders then and everybody's like, oh, you done made him all regular season. It's the playoffs. It's totally something different. Hey, look, it's a quick Miss Charles come in. my sis with the $50 holla. Hey ho! It's a $50 holla. Sorry, Star. I gotta get into it when we
No,
get
it's
them
all good.
when we get them big red hollers. We got to
You
shout
get the
out to
money.
her. We gotta get them big
Mhm.
hollers. Shout out to my sis. Says James, love you, my brother. I love you too, sis. May God always bless you and your family. And Granny, hello, Star, sis. May you and your family be blessed as well. Always love you, sis. Always
Thank you
been
for being
here,
here.
been here for a long time. Been through a
Yep.
lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Boo Thing just jumped in. Been through a lot of things. Shout out to everybody's in the chat. But I love you too, sis. Hope everything's going well with you. I know we talked in the DM, so you know I hope everything's going well with you. And I
Yeah.
appreciate you for all you do for the channel,
Mhm.
myself, and Cowboys Nation. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yep.
So, we talked about the Jimmy Johnson thing briefly, obviously for the
Mhm.
fans, but I want to get your perspective on it. Just how do you feel about it before we kind of talk about the game, Miami, all that stuff? How do you really feel about the Jimmy Johnson thing? What does it mean to you?
Yeah.
What does it mean to
Yeah.
you?
I mean, to be honest, I ain't gonna lie. I went on a whole rant earlier this year, earlier in the season, about how I didn't believe in the Jimmy Johnson curse, and we got to move on. We got to move past it. It's not real. But you know what? I'm like, when I heard that Jimmy was going in, it just made me have more confidence that our front office is changing. Now, am I saying that they're completely changed and they're completely different? I'm not going to say go as far as to say that, but I
Right,
will say this year is special because they have done things that they haven't done. Like,
right, right,
regardless of what is going on, like, they did things that they haven't done. They really have. I think they've tried. And I think you got to, for Jerry to do this year, like, come on, guys. Like, I just feel like, and I'm not saying I'm not a front office butt kisser. I'm not saying
right,
kiss their ass. I'm not
right,
saying
for
do
sure,
anything.
for
But
sure.
I am saying, like, we do as a fan base have to give our front office some credit. We have to give them
Credit when they
some
deserve
praise.
it.
Yeah, some praise for rectifying their wrongs and trying to fix mistakes that they've made. I know they've made mistakes, the Mari Cooper trade and all of that stuff. I know they've effed up in the past. They've done some things. I know people was freaking out about the Rashawn Evans thing and linebacker depth and all of this stuff. I'm like, listen, I understand, but at the same time, just because a person does something, that's why I'm not really a huge fan of cancel culture, because I'm like, hey, just because somebody
Right, right, for
does
sure.
something doesn't mean that just because somebody did something bad does not erase the good that they did. Right?
For sure.
Somebody people we're dual. We do bad, we do good, but just because I did a bad thing doesn't mean that this all these good things that I did should be erased.
Right.
So that's
I
just
agree.
how I feel. I feel good about it, and I just feel like I said at the beginning, it's a weight lifted off the fans, so the fans don't have to feel like if something happens, it's because we're cursed. It's because Jerry won't put
Right,
Jimmy in the ring. It's
right,
like we can just
right,
not have that to worry
right,
about
right.
anymore. So
So
I
now
feel
that's
good.
not the excuse now. That's not
Right, that's
that's
not
not
the excuse.
yeah, that's
Mhm.
not the thing you can no longer bring up. I can't bring it up. I've said it. I'm gonna keep it real. I've said it
Mhm.
numerous times. So
Numerous times. Yep.
I'm more of the old school, I guess, maybe.
Mhm.
And I just felt like it was a situation, not really just a curse. I just felt like it was a situation where move on. This man has done a lot for the organization. Y'all
Right.
have been through a lot. Y'all are older now.
Mhm.
We all ain't got that much time anyway,
Mhm.
right? So like
Yep.
why go down with this beef? And it's over football. You feel me? This
Yeah.
ain't no life. Y'all had some spat over life. This was
Right. Right.
football, man. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't
Mhm.
be even that serious. And the fact that, like you said, the organizations continue to say, hey, we messed up, we're trying to do better. There's nothing wrong with that. And I can accept that because I want somebody to feel like that in my own life, your life, anybody's life. Anybody would want to feel like that if you've done wrong or you've messed up that and you're
Mhm.
trying to do better or you've done good before, you're trying to do better. You can't just be like, oh no,
Yeah. Yeah.
no, no,
Exactly.
no, because you've done yourself wrong and you're not really a
Mhm.
one to be able to point a finger. You get what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying?
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think that's for me is a thing, another step of the organization, like you said, changing for a better from the fan perspective of we can't
Mm.
keep on sitting there saying they're hard headed because they are making
Yeah.
changes that we never
Yeah.
thought they would do. At least
Yeah,
I
do
didn't
we,
think
do
he
we-
was ever going to do that.
Right.
You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Shout out to my
Yep.
dog, the Lunatic, for the $2 holla. Support New Cowboys Media and let that deal DC4L for show. For sure, the Lunatic, another great supporter who's been there for a long, long time.
Yep.
Appreciate the Lunatic. But let's jump into, well, there's a whole bunch of things to talk about before you can really even talk about the Lions.
Yep.
Obviously, I don't want to go too deep into Miami because it's over, but obviously, me and you have not talked. So I
Yep.
always like to just get your quick synopsis of that
Mhm.
game and how
Yeah.
you felt about it as a whole.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie. After the game, right after the game, I was disheartened. I was sad. I was angry because I'm like, this was our last road game. Here we go. We get close again, and then it's just too many mistakes. This made one too many mistakes, and then despite all the stuff that was happening, offense goes down the field, should have been the game winning touchdown,
Mhm.
and then our defense just falls apart. Damone Clark face mask penalty. I mean, once he did that, it was virtually over. Then you see Dan Quinn not having. I don't know why he did not have Micah in the middle at that crucial time in the game. You got him on the edge when you knew the Dolphins was going to run and just try to run
Mhm.
the clock out, kick a field goal. Then I think Gilmore went out on that, got hurt or something, went out on that drive. Dan Quinn
Nashawn
gets
Wright.
up, puts Nashawn right over there. I'm like, why wouldn't you put Bland over there? And why would you put Nashawn Wright on Tyreek Hill on a third, a third and short, and you got him 10 yards off the ball? Tua went right to him. So it's just like I just felt like
And
and
he
the
was 10
defense.
yards, and Nashawn Wright was 10 yards off Tyreek
He
Hill, and
was
they
10
on a
yards
sec
off the
on a
ball.
2nd and 1. That
10
was crazy.
yards off the ball. I just like, I can't believe this, Dan Quinn. It's just like, what is going on? And it's like, yes, I do give Dan Quinn and his game plan some praise because yes, they did hold that high powered offense to 4 or 5 field goals, right? They only scored one touchdown. But
Right.
at the same time, it's like whenever we pressured Tua in that game, he was missing throws left and right.
Mm-hmm.
But we created the least amount of pressure that we've ever had under Dan Quinn in this game. We barely blitzed Tua at all. And I'm like, if we had mixed it up, maybe we could have caused a turnover that could have flipped the game. So, I give, you got to give credit to where credit is due. But at the end of the day, I feel like the offensive side of the ball finished, the defensive side of the ball did not. Game plan was pretty solid, but I think we could have done a little bit more. What I did see is there is a lot of players that are ready for the playoffs. Dak is ready for the playoffs. CeeDee Lamb to me is ready, for the playoffs. DeMarcus Lawrence, Micah Parsons, who else? I mean, those are the four people that really stand out to me that says we're ready as the veterans of this team. But you can see the mistakes was made by who? Pretty much rookie and second year players, right? Hunter Luke fumbling, or players in new positions. Tony Pollard not sprinting toward the pylon. It's just like little stuff like that these players and these new roles and these rookies have to get down. And I am glad I did say yesterday on Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball, I was like, I hate to say this, but I am grateful. There's a good thing that came out of these losses because the players are seeing they're playing playoff games without the go home consequences, without the your season's over consequences. They're playing them and they're playing them all back to back to back to back to back. So I think that's a good thing because it's showing them. Because if we had a one, would the players really lock in like they need to? No, because
Right.
they're like, hey, we won anyway. They start feeling they said, and then when you get into the playoffs, you got that same mindset. But now the players have the mindset, hey, any little, if I don't run my route right, if I don't do the fundamentals, secure this ball, if I don't make sure I'm tackling right, if I don't do the right angles, we could go home. I could be a contributing factor of us not going further and deeper in the playoffs. So I think ultimately that is what this game taught the team is that, hey, y'all playing better. It was night and day between the Bills and the Dolphins, but at the end of the day, you still lost. And why did you lose? Because you're not focusing in and paying attention to the details. And like Dak Prescott said in his recent interview, he said, we've been telling the young players, like, hey, y'all don't, y'all have to focus in. Y'all have to make certain sacrifices. Like this is the big leagues. Like it's certain things that y'all gonna have to change about your work ethic and regimen so that when it comes time for playoffs, we're ready. So that's my overall feelings about the game. Hate that we lost, but not too. I'm not upset about it like I was anymore. I think it was good because I think it's just further building our team and getting them prepared for the playoffs.
I agree with that point, especially the point of where you talked about these are playoff type games without the repercussion of going home. And I had made a tweet, I think maybe a week ago, I said, if this isn't where you had the gauntlet of Buffalo, Miami, Philly, Lions, Seattle, I said, if this isn't a playoff, if this isn't a playoff, tester, I don't know what else is.
I don't know what I'm saying. Right.
This is testing you. This is, like you said, this is good. You're playing playoff caliber teams each game.
Yep.
You need this because you're seeing what it's going to be like once again when you jump in these playoffs. And the good thing about this is, Star, you have things you can still have time to correct. So you're playing these playoff type teams. You're able to, we may have made some mistakes in this game, which we felt like they made in Buffalo, and they corrected in Miami, but we still fell short. So now they can go back to the lab and look at these two games as a whole, coming at home, knowing the way we play at home, and maybe possibly implement those things there because you go on the road the last game, which I don't know what kind of game that's going to be. So that's going to be a weird type game. We'll see how that game goes and as far as seeding and things of that nature. But this is funny, something that's pulled up, and I just got to see it right now. And it's funny. We have been talking about this. I'm going to show it right now. You just tagged Boss in it, and we have been already talking about this.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to everybody. I seen you tag Boss in this, and this just came up. Foots made a tweet about let me get it up. There it is. Foots made a tweet saying that, you're being too friendly, trying to be all cool. And Micah jumped in there and said, LOL, show me a game. Foot said, once again, I want Micah to realize these players around the league, not your friend. Hopefully he gets it. And see, that's once again, we're talking again how we're talking to Star, how these players are watching the tweets now, right? The players are watching the tweets. They know who we are now. They know exactly who we are. They probably be talking about us. I know they'd be probably talking about us in the locker room, man. Big game, whatever. Man, he didn't shut the hell up. He probably saying it. He probably saying, that's cool. I get it. It's all good. Hey, it's all good. But anyway, Foots made the tweet, and like I said, I like it because it shows the power that we have now. So he makes the tweet, and Micah says, LOL, show me a game where I treated an opponent like a friend. This the jungle, baby, but also tactic. I am not going to war on social media. It's not good for no one. You tag Boss in it, and Boss, says, what's going on here? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I take Boss in it because Boss said he did a show earlier this week about Micah being a friendly lion and how he needs to embrace the hate. How he needs to embrace the hate. And when I saw Micah said it was a tactic, I said, oh, that's interesting because Boss had played a video, and it's in that video that's showing right now. It's a clip in there from Tom Brady where Tom Brady is talking about how when he was playing, he found any reason to get mad and he hated the opponent. And, that's what made him play out of his mind like he wanted to kill those guys and stuff like that, and how he didn't have friends. But Tom also said when there was defensive players that always, wanted to get after him, they want to keep sacking him, he would try to use his friendliness as a tactic. Like, oh, if they sack him, he'll go, hey, bro, hey, buddy, like, hey, you don't gotta keep sacking me like that. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's how Tom was. And so I'm like, well, maybe Micah does use that sometimes so that guys, because he was like, basically Tom was like, I use it because I'm trying to get people to take their guards down. And I'm like, maybe Micah does. Right, get relaxed. Think, oh, we're friends, And I will say this. When Micah's pass rushing, and sometimes in this game in Miami, I really saw, and in the Philly game, those two games that stand out to me from Micah, where I'm like, he's playing angry today. You could tell by the way he's pursuing the ball, his anger after that holding call, like Micah was like, that's what we want. And I'm like, when Micah plays, I can't ever say that like I see him when he's actually playing being friendly, but it's like after the game, right? He's taking pictures, after a play. Oh, let me help you up, these men. So I said, maybe Micah has been using that, but I do think I didn't see him helping people up or doing none of that stuff in Miami or Philly. So maybe Micah is slowly moving toward like, nah, we on demon time now. We're going to the playoffs. All that exchanging jerseys, buddy stuff, that's done. That's over with, because obviously we want to win a Super Bowl. And it's going to take you realizing that it's us against them. It's us against them. That's how they treat us. All these players, they may laugh and talk with you in your DMs and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, these players want to embarrass you. And that's enough. When we talk about the Detroit Lions, you think this team don't know we've kicked their ass 2 years in a row?
And you don't think they know that Ring of Honor thing is happening too, and they don't want to make it spoil that?
Exactly. They want to embarrass us. And if they could beat us going in the playoffs, it would give their locker room such a huge momentum boost. So these guys, like every team that we play, though it don't matter what their record is, they live to embarrass the Dallas Cowboys. They live to beat the crap out of us. You'll have guys, they don't have a pick all year, but they'll have a pick. They want that pick against Dak Prescott. They want that sack against Dak Prescott. They want to make Micah look silly on a play by running at him and chipping him. Like, they live to embarrass us. So if the players realize that these people are the enemy, they do not like you at all, it will help them play better, in my opinion. So that's how I feel about it. I think it's good. I think keep talking your shit, Micah. Just make sure that on the field, you back that up, and you have your guys as well prepared to back it up. That's it. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Just from me, I don't know. I'm not in none of those guys' heads. Just for how I was seeing it. As y'all, I'll put this up for you all. The people can see the Detroit Lions. They offense, they defense. How many points we're gonna talk about that in the star points, but I think, in my personal opinion, when we were talking that when we did the final word, and I'm sure other shows had said it too, well, we know he can play linebacker. We know it. We've seen it. And we said it on the show start. Does he want to? We feel like he wants to get sacks. We don't know if he wants to chase ball carriers all day and don't want to get that glory of getting that sack all day. And I believe he sees these damn tweets. I don't know how he don't see these damn shows. And I don't know how he don't see these damn shows when we're saying that. You feel me? And I feel like maybe, in my opinion, just me, that they may respect. I'm not going to say they respect us more than the Cowboys, man. I'm not going to say that. But I'm going to say we're more down to earth with it, where they'll probably be more like, yeah, I'm going to show you, dog. I'm going to show you. You're gonna, you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
When I'm saying this part? That they'll be more like to us, where they'll be like, all right, dog. Oh, all right. You think I won't be getting it in? I'm about to show you, dog.
Exactly.
You feel? Because I would be like, I'm gonna keep it real. I would be like that if it was me. She was on the foot and I was a player, and I was watching these shows or something like that, and they were saying that about me. And I know they weren't hating anything. I would get that extra edge. Because I would be want to go
Absolutely.
out there and be like, yeah, that's what I told you, dog. I'm a
Exactly.
monster out here. I'm a monster out here. I'm a beast. You cannot stop me out here. I would. And I feel
Yeah.
like when you saw him at linebacker and we were saying, yeah, let's see, we know. I feel like he wanted to prove to everybody, yeah, I can. I can
It's,
do that.
uh-huh.
I can rush the passer. I can play linebacker. I can do all
Hmm.
that. You feel me?
Yeah.
And
Yep.
hey, if we need to keep saying that to give you that edge, dog, then I'm gonna
Keep
keep
saying it.
saying it. You feel? I'm gonna keep
Keep
on
saying
saying it, dog. And it ain't gonna just for me to just be saying it to say it. It's gonna be real when I'm saying it.
it.
But
Right.
you know, I liked it, and I feel like, look, dog, and that's why I tagged them. I don't tag players. I probably tagged like 4 players on Twitter in 4 years. I don't do it because I ain't
Hmm.
trying to get no fame, no glory, no nothing like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I tagged him in that Debo thing because I wanted him to see. Yeah, I know y'all players and y'all be kicking it because I used to play the game and I used to be friends with players. Like when I played in ball
Yeah.
in high school and things of that
Yeah.
nature, I knew players from other teams and we was
Hmm.
cool. But I ain't like y'all as far as when we trying to. If you in my division or when we playing, I ain't like y'all. I didn't like them at all. You know what I'm saying? It was beef
Yep.
until it was over.
Yep.
So all I'm saying is I ain't in the NFL. But Debo, I don't care if he joking or not. He talking trash, dog. He keep talking trash. Like, why you worried about us? We keep smacking you. All right, bro, take that and run with it. I don't, whatever you got to do with it, dog. That's why I tagged you. I'm tired of them talking that trash to you. The fans is tired of them talking that trash to us. I know y'all got to be tired of them beating y'all.
Yep. No, you got
So
to be tired.
beat them this year.
Beat them.
Beat
Exactly. Because
them.
we likely gonna see it. We're gonna see them in playoffs.
You
So
feel me?
beat them.
Beat these boys. I ain't. That's why I threw it out there. But Detroit Lions are here, and obviously we're gonna. I've been letting people see the Detroit Lions as a whole, what they have to bring to the table. I mean, they got Jared Goff. We know what he does to the table. Um, they got a good 1-2 combination with the run game, and we're going to talk about that. But I was showing the stats, but the biggest thing that I'm showing right here is opponents' points per game,
Mm,
23.7. And Dallas scores a lot of points at home. So this is
yep.
where it looks really good for us. This could be a shootout type game, but this looks like we
Yep.
can definitely drop another 40-point game on this
For
team
sure.
if we come
For
out
sure.
aggressive and
Hmm.
do our thing. But I'm going to go ahead and let's jump into the 4 points stars. We
Hmm.
actually we got the 5 point stars. So boom, 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 boom.
Yep.
Let's start with the first one right here. Keep under 100 yards rushing. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So pretty much, I mean, this is probably I can't think of another one, but this is the most dynamic 1-2 punch we'll face all season. Um, you got Jameer Gibbs, you got David Montgomery, which at the beginning of the season they were leading more through David, but now they're leading more through Jameer Gibbs, who they picked up,
Mm-hmm.
who was one of their first round picks. And these are very dynamic backs, right? These are guys that individually they can have 100-yard games, or they can both. The Lions split their carries pretty evenly, uh, and these are guys that I mean, when you have a tandem, you don't really need. I mean, you're one of them can get 100, but you don't really need that. You know, if one gets 70 and 60, I mean, that's great. That's great. They lean on these guys. These are their major playmakers, right? They
Mm-hmm.
use these guys to take pressure off of Jared Goff so that they can hit you with the play action. So the key to this game should be let's stop these guys to make it harder on Jared Goff because Jared Goff is a good quarterback, but he's not a great or he's not an elite quarterback. He is a quarterback that if you give him time in the pocket and you let him stay on in rhythm, that yes, he's going to deliver the throws and the passes. But if you get up in his face, he's not going to look the same. If you're doing what you need to do, covering on the back end, you know
Mm-hmm.
Jared Goff is not a guy that can make off script plays. So you really should go into this game defensively, saying we want Jared Goff and Amon St. Brown and Josh Reynolds and Jameson Williams. We want these guys to beat us, not Jameer Gibbs and David Montgomery. Because when I say they lean on them, they lean on them. These are guys that they can give you 2 to 3 touchdowns in a game if you let them.
Right.
This is
Right.
a running team. This is a running team. So the key is stop the run and make Jared Goff beat you. And when that happens, you know, it should be a good day for our strength on defense, which is our pass rush.
Right.
Although they do have a top five offensive line.
Yeah.
So you also got to add that into it. But, we faced top offensive lines this year. So I still think that at the very least, we should be able to get pressure. Hopefully, one of my keys as well is that we need to get sacks as well because of the few games that they've lost. Jared Goff sacked 3, 4, 5 times. So that's what you really want to disrupt Goff.
Right. To your point, I'm showing some stats right here. Number one, they are third in the league overall in rushing with 141 yards a game.
Yep.
I made the post star this week about the last 3 years because I didn't really go over 2020 because it was a disaster with the whole defense as a whole. But since Dan Quinn has been there, in the 15 losses, Dallas Cowboys have only outrushed their opponents twice. And in those 15 losses, I went by year, and each one of those, because we lost 5 losses, we have 5 losses each year. So I went to each year, and those 5 losses, what did the opponent do to us? So in 2021, they averaged 30 rushes a game for a tune of 127. Bad, but not crazy. But then it went up almost each year. And at least the attempts, 35 attempts in 2022 for 167. And these were in the losses. And then this year, 37 attempts a game for 160. So when teams stick with the run against us, it's not, maybe we just talked about this last week, Star. It's not that we have the greatest run defense anyway. It's just because teams have not decided to stick with the run. And when teams stick with the run, 37, 35, 40 carries a game as a team, they tend to beat us because they're usually having a high amount of yardage. They're usually having a high yards per average in that game. And it's usually when they're wearing us down in the third and fourth quarter and they're gashing us. And also they're getting big first downs through the runs. And that's what hurts us.
Right.
Because Miami didn't kill us in the run game, but they got timely runs. They got timely runs. And that's what hurt us. And that's what's got to be rectified. And two, here's your point right here. When we're talking about these runners, the Jahmyr Gibbs, people question the pick, right? Number 12 overall selection, running back. We knew he was good, but we were all stunned when Detroit Lions picked him up. And obviously he's still running back, but daggone, 872 yards, hella explosive. Look at this right here, Star. He's averaging 5.7 yards a carry, 9 rushing touchdowns, 3.27 yards after contact, explosive runs, at least 10 plus, 25 of them. So he can get up on you. And then
absolutely.
Then you have who's kind of more the doggish, the more when they got the thunder and lightning, because we saw David Montgomery when he was with the Bears. He's averaging 4.7 yards a carry. And he has 910 yards and 11 touchdowns. So when you look at that combination right there, that is a little bit like, okay, so
it's serious. Yeah.
It's a little bit serious right there. And the Lions know that. You got Dan Quinn as their Dan Campbell as their coach. He was with us. He is a hard-nosed type guy, and he knows they're gonna, this is their weakness, and let's see what they're really about. And they're gonna come at us and try to run on us. Where do you feel like we need to really do in this aspect on the defensive side? We know we're going to see Mike at linebacker. We know that. You got Rashaan Evans gone because of that situation. Malik Jefferson most likely is going to be there, elevated playing. What do you think we need to do to really stop this run game to really keep them limited? Besides, I feel what you're saying about Jared Goff, but what do you think we need to do in the run game to really stop their running backs?
Yeah, I think, last week we saw the type of run fits that we need to do. And shout out to Okoye because he's breaking down some film of the linebackers all this year, but also the film that we just did last week versus the Dolphins. And I think if we want to stop this rushing attack, you need Micah in the middle You can put. I mean, I personally would rather have um Marquise Bell as my will, because Marquise Bell, if he's kept clean, he will pursue. We have seen that from him. He will pursue. He will shoot into the backfield if you can keep him clean. Damone Clark is more so a hesitant Harry. He's fast, but he also gets faked out a lot, and teams obviously take advantage of that. So
And
I'm
it's
gonna
slow
have
to
Michael,
process.
and he's slow to process. That's his issue. That's his issue. It's like not only you have the physical speed, but you play way slower than your speed because it's too easy to manipulate him. I
Hmm.
mean, I think he's got to get himself more in the film room and stuff like that, because how he's been playing this year just ain't it. So I'd rather have Michael Parsons, Marquise Bell, and then and then I would have D Law, Sam Williams, or Dorrance Armstrong. Whoever's better at setting the edge. I don't know out of Sam Williams or Dorrance Armstrong, but either of those. And then I'm having Chauncey Golston, because Chauncey Golston is one of our best run defenders. So I'm having Chauncey Golston. It's gonna have to be Mozzie or the guy that we moved up. I don't know his name. I forgot his
Carl
name. But that
Davis.
guy, Carl Davis, and Oso Digizua. That should be your run fit. We need to be playing like a 3-4 type of run fit. All these exotic, and Dan Quinn did a lot of. And every single time he did it, where we got J. Ron Curse playing middle linebacker and then Dono playing the wheel or the Sam, every single time the Dolphins saw that, they ran on us and it was like a 10, 12-yard game. So that's not it. That's not it, Dan. You know what I'm saying? Now, if it comes to like garbage time stats or whatever, and teams are just trying to like run the ball to see if they can throw us out of the pass, okay, you can do that. But as far as your base package, you need to be in a 3-4 with those players that I just named. It's time to stop doing all that cute stuff, all the cute, weird stuff, Mike at one tech, and all these just exotics, all these exotic defenses. Like, let's stop with the exotic defenses, because unfortunately, every single team that we face in the playoffs is going to try to run on us. Everybody knows at this point that our defense rushing package is lethal. So we gotta know, in order to get there, we've gotta stop the run. We cannot allow teams to stay balanced, because that's what the Lions are. They're a very balanced team, right? Jared Goff, he averages about 30 passes a game. The running backs average about 30 collectively carries. So we can't allow teams to stay balanced. We need teams to live in our world instead of us living in their world. The only way we can do that is if we stop the run. So as far as the other linebackers, I don't know. We did know last year Dan Quinn did have a Swiss Army knife. And Izzy McClamu, I don't know if he has something like that on the linebacker end this coming into this playoffs. I don't know. But I think if we roll out to what we did, like the running fits that we did versus Miami, we should be able to shut these guys down, in my opinion. Or at least limit the running game, just like we did Miami, which was the number one rushing attack. So,
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's going to be tough. Me personally, and what's crazy is Quentin Bohanna's over on the Lions. That's what's crazy.
It is.
I don't want to cry over spilled milk because there's nothing you can do about it. But
Right.
I go back to, they shouldn't have cut him. They
Right.
shouldn't have
Hate
cut
that.
him. They should have kept him, because this is a perfect game where you can use a Quentin Bohanna, right? You got Hankins out, who, in my opinion, you might as well just keep Hankins out the rest of the year
Yeah,
now.
just keep him out.
You don't need to play him in Washington, because you need to get him ready for the playoffs. He has to be fully healthy. So
Yeah.
number one, you're not going to be playing Hankins these last two games, right? So
Right.
this is where you could have perfectly had Bohanna, because we obviously heard and we already talked about how Mozzie is underweight. He had 26 snaps. 16 of them were pass rushes. So it goes to the point where Mike White talked about last week, how he lost weight. They try to put him,
Yeah.
and he was playing 3-tech. He wasn't playing
Yeah.
1-tech. They put him in
he's
pass
playing
rushing.
3-tech.
You feel me? They put him in pass rushing situation, and that's not what he does. He never was doing it in Michigan. So where are you coming from to make him all of a sudden be this pass rush guy? 16 pass rush snaps from Mozzie, and he doesn't look the thickness like he did, like he can't.
No,
And it's not you're strong, but it's not like it's like
you
you're
don't
like
have the weight.
you don't have the weight
Like,
to hold the point of
right.
attack now. And they're
Exactly.
pushing you and moving you and turning you. And you were already having those issues as a rookie. So now if you're underweight and you're already having those issues, the offensive linemen, if they're more rookies and the offensive line coaches will see that and use that to their advantage. And that's where I feel like we are suffering in
Yeah,
the
we are.
middle. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
I feel like Gallimore's got to step up and play more and be more of a run defender. He's
Yep.
always been more of a three tech in theory.
Retake.
That's what he is. But I remember a couple of years ago where we were like, hey, he was playing good in the run game. We need that
Yep.
type of Gallimore from him. We need guys
Yep.
to buckle down, Star, the Golstons, the Gallimores. We know Osa, but damn, you're taking double teams and you're undersized. It's gonna only happen so much. So those guys really
Coming
have
in.
to shoot the
Yeah.
gaps. You run. I mean, we saw Micah do it. So Damone Clark, if you're out there, you got to be able to trust your instincts and process the information faster and make those plays because he has the athletic ability to do it. He has the size. He can be physical. We need him to step his game up because we don't have nobody else. You feel me? They're not getting
Right.
any other linebackers.
He's
We
got
can
to
talk
step up.
about we're not getting nobody else. So Damone Clark's got to step up in these aspects and process this information, be more physical, and they're going to have to do it in these games because they're going to have to shoot these gaps and they're going to have to
Yep.
maintain gap integrity because once that Jahmyr Gibbs gets through that damn hole, woo-wee, it's going to be. I worry about the missed tackles in that back end.
And he's
You-
nice with it. He's not just a fast guy. This is a guy that has actual agility and moves. He's basically Tony Pollard before he lost his step, where he can shift his momentum and stuff like that without losing any speed. I mean, that guy, he is nice. So he will embarrass you if you're not. And that's another thing. Like, in order to stop the run, you have to play as a team and one unit defensively. You can't be playing hero ball, and you can't hesitate. You cannot hesitate. You gotta shoot inside your gaps, even if he doesn't go in your gap. Shoot your gap anyway, so that he can't turn back, he can't cut back and do all that stuff. Like we need, but just we need the linebackers crew for real to step it up. You gotta step it up.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, we we need a big game from those guys, you know. And just like you
Yeah.
said, Sam Williams. I mean, this is another thing that I've talked about as well. Star is that I thought the defense would be elite if Sam Williams took that next step, and I don't feel like he has, or he hasn't maybe had the opportunities to take the next step. So also they need to figure that out. To your point, if you're talking about, we know what D-Law brings to the table. All right, we know that. But we need somebody else on this opposite side. I know Dorrance Armstrong can play, but we really need Sam Williams to be a different player these next two games and in these playoffs. Let's be honest, Star. We need
we
Sam,
do.
we need Sam
We
Williams
do.
to be a different
And
player.
Micah playing at linebacker can unlock that. People who say we want to see more Sam Williams, we want to see more Dante Fowler, we can see more of those guys if Micah plays a little bit more linebacker for us, because we do kind of have a log jam at defensive end. So Sam and Fowler, both of them can stand up and stuff like that. So, I'm interested to see what Dan Quinn does, because last playoffs he did have good defensive plans, especially in that Bucks game. He had a good defensive plan in the 49ers game as well. But one thing I will say about Dan is that I'm not liking, and they've been posting about it, we're not getting turnovers in big games. We haven't had a turnover, and I think since the Philly game. And I think that's what's really getting us in these big games. Like when you saw the Ravens cause the 49ers to have 4 turnovers, Like they were forcing those turnovers. It wasn't like they were tipping passes. They were covering those guys tight so that they weren't catching the ball and they were getting those turnovers. It's like, Dan Quinn, I would like to see you play more aggressively in big games. To me, he plays very bend don't break. It's like he's scared to me. And it's like the players play scared because normal plays that you'll see Bland make or Gilly make or the safeties make, they don't make them because it's like they're playing just to get by. And I said yesterday, we need more from our defense in big games. It's not enough to just let's just play bend don't break and just limit it as much as we can. No, that we need y'all to be difference makers. We need y'all to help us more. We need y'all to get the ball back because what teams are doing, they're terrified of Dak Prescott and this offense. So what are they doing? They want to keep Dak Prescott and this offense on the sideline. Give them as minimal drives as possible so that they can somehow see if they can throw us out of our rhythm, and then they're winning these games. That's exactly Mike McDaniel said. That's exactly what their game plan was playing us. Keep Dak in the offense on the sideline. Vic Fangio playing that cover 6 where you can't really get much intel before pre-snap. And boom. And the Dolphins, yeah, they were held to field goals, but what did they also do? They had long drives where they drained that clock out. So we need the defense gotta play. They gotta play like we know they can play. We need more aggressiveness from them in these big games. We need turnovers. Like that's how you win. You gotta force some turnover. Just one at least. That in good field position too. Because turning the ball over at inside the 1, that doesn't really help us much. Like, can y'all turn the ball and get us some good field position? That's my opinion on it.
Yeah, I feel you with the turnovers, and you're saying right, and that's to your other point that force at least 2 turnovers in this game. But to me, it's not just turnovers, Star. We need to get to the quarterback. Okay, we're not having turnovers, but we're not getting to the quarterback either.
Right.
I mean,
our sacks are way down.
Our sacks are way down this year. In that Miami game, we saw good pressures. Miami, Tua just barely got that one against Micah, damn near in the end zone. But they only had one whole sack. It was a half a sack between Dorrance Armstrong and Micah Parsons. And when we don't get to the quarterback and we don't really get that pressure, and we're not getting those sacks, that defense suffers as well. So we're an opportunistic defense. We need turnovers, but we need to get the pressure as well and get to that quarterback, because when we are not getting to that quarterback, our defense suffers majorly, especially in that pass game, because then you start seeing, because we have a good pass defense by the numbers, right? By the numbers, we have a good pass defense. But when teams can kind of just get time in the pocket, we saw Geno Smith do it, right? When he had time in that pocket, he was dicing us, okay? And we've seen quarterbacks, when they've had some time in that pocket, they can throw the ball on us.
They're getting that ball out. And to your point, Big, on that they're also doing it because of how our secondary is playing. That's why I'm saying we got to play more aggressive. You cannot give people 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 yards. That's another reason why Tua was dicing us up, because Dan Quinn got them playing 10 yards off the ball so these people can stay on time. And it's the same thing. It's like we need to play more aggressively so that the quarterback can hold the ball a little bit longer. Because when we played the Seattle Seahawks, when we played Tua, Micah was getting there under 2 seconds, but they were just getting the ball out a little bit faster. That's another thing. These offensive coordinators have figured out how to neutralize, and I think it's because they're taking advantage of how we're playing on the back end. So Dan Quinn's got to switch it up if he wants us, because these quarterbacks are getting the ball out fast, extremely fast.
And to Trey's point on this one, though, where he was saying he had to play off those receivers because they were fast, I feel like you got to see the matchups during the game, because number one, you got to just see how the ebbs and flows of the game. How you said, you got to see how the game is flowing. I don't feel like you have to play that zone all game, because I played against teams when I coached, they were really fast, and we didn't play zone all the time. We manned them up
Uh-huh.
sometimes, but it had to just be calculated when we did it.
Right.
Now,
Right.
now here's my point. I don't mind you playing man, but you got Waddle when they got that long pass. I was frustrated when they went man and put Gilly on Waddle, and you went man on that. If I'm a quarterback, I'm attacking that instantly. If you don't have that safety that's over the top
Right.
on that, you feel me? Maybe I'm doing bland on that, but I'm not putting Gilly because Gilly ain't as fast as no Waddle, and that's a
I
one
think
on
on
one.
Yeah, I think on that play, Dono got caught back looking in the backfield. I
Okay.
think Dan. I think, and
Because I
that's
don't
been
have
a
my all
problem with
my
Dono.
yeah, because my all 22 is acting up. But that is a problem. Not to cut you off, but that is
Yeah,
a problem from Donald because he was actually not too bad his rookie and second year in coverage. But it looks like it's like dang, he kind of took a
it's not
step
the
back
same.
his last couple of years in pass coverage,
Correct.
where like you said, he's peeking in that backfield or he's guessing wrong and he's making or taking a bad angle. And once they get past the initial
You're getting
cornerback,
cooked.
it's touchdown.
It's touchdown, and I think, and that's the issue. That's what the issue. That's why I keep calling them Dan Moore because I'm like, you have personnel that can play. If you want to play cover man too high, you have two safeties, Izzy McQuamu and Wanye Thomas that you can put back there because Dono and Curse aren't covered safeties. We know that. We know they're not covered safeties. So, but the fact that you keep rolling them out there, it's saying that they're covered safeties. That's the issue that we have because teams know that and they're taking advantage of that. Yeah, Dono, he is looking to come down and hit, right?
Right.
He don't like coverage and he shouldn't be in coverage. But Dan continues to put these guys in coverage. And when you do that, then you're making your own player. You're not using your players to their strengths. So you're making your players look bad. You're making them look like bums. Like imagine if the defensive coordinator, Steve Wilkes, said, I'm going to make Fred Warner man up Jake Ferguson all game. You think that would look good? No. Fred Warner would look terrible because, he would be getting routed up. You can't have your players in bad positions. And that's the issue that I have with Dan Quinn. It's like you're not having the right personnel out there to even stop what you're trying to stop. And like you said, you have to mix it up. You can't just say, I'm going to just stay here because when Mike McDaniels realized, that's y'all just going to play like that all game? All right. Look at Tua's passing chart from Next Gen Stat. It was just dink and dunk. It was 1, 2, 3, slam. 1, 2, 3, quick in. 1, 2, 3, out. It was easy. It was easy.
Yeah. And sometimes, just like I said, I feel you. Like, you just got to be calculated in what you're doing as far as you're attacking this offense. I get it. You're not going to play, you don't want to play man up all the time because you see that speed. But there are sometimes where you got to see the personnel and then you got to attack Tua. You got to get after them because you know what? They're dinking and dunking us. And just like I said, at the end of the game, when Gilly went out, and they put Wright in there, and I seen that 2nd and 1, and he was 10 yards off the ball. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, what's going on right here? That if I'm a quarterback and I see that, okay, as soon as I hike the ball, you're getting it. I'm gonna look right at you. I will audible to that play to your side, and you're getting the ball right now because this is too easy right here. So. We're going to see what happens with that, Star, because it's got to get rectified before these playoffs, or it's going to be a quick exit, right? It's going to be quickly if they don't rectify it. Maybe not stun as much. Maybe, like I said, more bare fronts 5-3, where you're more stacking the line of scrimmage with your guys. But that linebacker thing where you don't really have the depth and it's thin. I'm worried about injury now because if you have any kind of a bad injury, you already seen how the team suffered with Hankins being out, how the run defense has suffered. It wasn't super great, but you saw how much it suffered when he went out. So I pray, football gods, don't let no injuries because we can't afford no kind of nothing.
We can't afford it.
We can't afford it because it's going to be bad for us if we do. Going forward, I hope things change with that. Now, obviously, we know the offense goes nuts and crazy at home, right?
Right.
Mike is uber aggressive at home, and we know that. So that's something that should be talked about. And we kind of covered those 3 points that we got to get to the quarterback. We got to get sacks. You said 3 sacks. I agree. We got to get sacks. We got to get turnovers. We got to hold them to 100 yards. But this one right here, this last one is something I want you to kind of expand on. Keep that clean on third down. Talk about that.
Yeah. In this Dolphins game, that was a major issue. On key third downs, Dak was either moved off his spot or sacked. And we've got to do a better job. And I think it's because Dak has been all season the best quarterback on third down. So I think the defensive coordinator said, okay, how can we disrupt them? How can we disrupt Dak on third down? I think they're sending more blitzes. They're doing more stunts. They're doing, I don't know, I got to go look in depth, but, of the all 22 and stuff like that. But, that's what I'm feeling like is happening. More blitzes, more stunts, very calculated. And that was a key to us, missing some touchdowns because you've got free rushers coming in Dak's face, or like I said, you're giving up quick pressure because what's his name? Chuma Ndoga didn't have a good game. He had a horrible game, but Terrence Steele was also over there getting beat. We've got to do a better job of protecting Dak. Give Dak just a little bit of time.
Yeah, the got worked up a little bit too.
Yeah, like by Wilkins and by, I forgot whoever that other guy is, but he was completely disruptive. Whoever the other defensive tackle next to Wilkins, I mean, he was tearing it up. Yeah. We need our offensive line to step up. You got to step up for your quarterback. I did appreciate that for the most part on that last drive, they held up well enough. Besides that mental blunder that Chuma had, letting Chubb go free again when we was at the 1 yard line or the goal line. But regardless, when the game was on the line, it's like they tightened up. I do appreciate that from offense because remember in the Philly game they didn't. So I'm glad that when the game's on the line, I say, okay, we cannot allow that to get pressure or sack. But they have to keep that up on third downs because we got to continue to be. At point in time, we're the best team in football on third down. We got to get that back because these defensive coordinators have figured out a way to stop us, and that's what's really been. We've been seeing a lot of more 3 and outs, and we weren't seeing that. We weren't really seeing that in this season. Like Mike McCarthy's a mastermind of. We've been converting in these long drives and all of that stuff, but these past few games, we haven't been able to do that. So I do need the offensive line. I need Solari, however they can clean that up. We've got to clean that up as well before playoffs and figure out what are they doing and how can we be in a better position to make sure Dak is clean? Because if Dak is clean, we know he can make the plays.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, and we got to be better on third down as a whole. We on the road the last 2 games. Dallas hadn't been good. We were terrible on third down.
And Kurt Warner broke it up. A lot of those routes, a lot of concepts.
He was like, "What the go routes?"
He was like, "What the hell?"
I was like,
this?
"Wow." that was crazy.
Good?
That was
it
crazy.
Wasn't good.
That was a great breakdown from Kurt Warner. If you haven't seen it, Cowboys fans, please go watch that. I actually got to watch it a few days ago, and the go routes that were just like, man, why are you doing that right now? Like you're playing right into this. Right. You're playing right into their hands, and it was disheartening to see that. And it was on all the third downs, and it was where you could have made big plays. But also, Dak, you got to let that ball go too. But I wonder sometimes, when Dak is really getting pressured, does he feel that pressure or does he feel it too early or does it maybe get to him a little bit? I mean, we can say it does because we saw Pat Mahomes. We saw him in that Raiders game. He was running for his life. That pressure gets to a quarterback. I don't give a hell how good of a quarterback you are, Star. I don't give a hell if you're an all-pro. If you're getting pressured all game and those guys are getting after you, the clocks goes faster in your head. Maybe you don't see the field as much because you're seeing that pressure now. You're when you're hiking the ball, you're seeing that pressure. You're not seeing those receivers as much because you're seeing that pressure because it's in your face. So now instead of you concentrating on 1, 2, 3, now you're looking at 1, 2, 3 in the left side. You get what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
yeah, I understand what you're saying. I will say that, well, the big thing was, well, what happened to CD? What happened to CD for quarters 2 and 3? A big thing was Vic Fangio. He made an adjust. That's what the All 22 showed. He made an adjustment. So in that first quarter, when CD was killing it, they was playing man coverage. Vic Fangio went into his cover 6 coverage, and that coverage is really built to bait quarterbacks. So that's why you saw Dak a lot. And I said it too, watching it live. I'm like, why is Dak hesitating? Why he keep pulling the ball down? It's because they were disguising, switching into. They were trying to get Dak to throw picks. It is a miracle. Dak could have thrown like 3 to 4 picks this game. So Dak was having to pull it down, try to scramble, try to get as much yards as he could. So, and he was actually, only Josh Allen has played well against that Dolphins defense. And remember, Josh Allen played them before Jalen Ramsey. Ever since Jalen Ramsey has come back, they've been the number 1 or 2 defense in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have to give the Dolphins credit, and Dak credit, because Dak, he could have very easily thrown a few picks in this game, like a lot of picks. So they were trying to bait him bad.
Yeah, we saw that, and it was good that he didn't, because Lord have mercy, I did not want to hear it in the media if Dak had a three interception game, but not really, because Brock Purdy, you had 4, so this hush up over there.
Exactly.
So as we kind of get ready to close on this, we talked about what we're going to need to do. Offensively, defensively, we need to get turnovers, we need to get sacks, we need to get pressure, because as you said with Jared Goff, I've always felt from day one start with Jared Goff, he's okay. I ain't never thought he was like a number 1 pick. I never thought he was a number 1 pick. Right. I always thought he was okay. He's not a bad quarterback. He's okay. But like you said,
he's limited.
He is limited. You have to build
like
things.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, you have to build things around him. And he's a statue. He ain't running. So this is a perfect time for your defense to really get pressure on a quarterback that you don't have to deal with running. Okay? Right. And this guy, when he gets pressure, he throws picks. Okay?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
He throws picks. He throws pick sixes. You feel me? So get on this guy and make him, like you said, get him off his spot, get him uncomfortable, get pressures on him. He will make mistakes. We'll get turnovers. We need to get these turnovers in this game. Get him to throw interceptions. We don't need them. We don't need because I've seen Detroit in their games rushing over 40 times, Star. We don't need that game. We don't need.
That's what I said. They will run the ball all day long. And like the Buffalo Bills did. This is what they scheme.
When they get hot, they're going to stay with it.
Yeah. This is their scheme. Their scheme is running the ball. So they're going to run the ball all day long. If you can't get there, they will. If you can't get off the field,
And we need to play from ahead. We need to play from ahead this game. We need to jump on. We need to jump on them early to kind of give our defense deflate them, because it looks like, I mean, honestly, we thought, well, at least I thought our defense was going to be that thing. It's good, but it's not that thing. But it looks like the offense needs to set the tone and score first to get the defense to really get after the quarterback. You get what I'm saying? So we need the offense to score points early so we can start attacking you early with the defense to get that confidence of that defense up. That's what I think.
Yep, that's true. That's exactly what we need to do. When we can see, when we can go down there and score, our defense plays with a different level of confidence, a different level of swagger and stuff like that. And so that's really what we need to do. We need to go in there, get up on them early, deflate them. Because if you let Detroit and them stay around, like these are their coaches, Dan Campbell. These guys, they play very aggressively, very tough. If you let them stay in the game, you know what I'm saying? You don't want that. You want to play them deflated. You know what I'm saying? You want to be able to deflate them. And the way you do that is by putting up points, forcing them to go 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. So they can just start giving up and waving the white flag. That's pretty much what you want.
And I think if we can get on them early, especially at home,
It'll
this is
happen.
Jimmy Johnson's thing. Get on, the crowd's going to be crazy. Get on them early,
Gonna be
and
crazy.
they're gonna turn the ball over, Star. I feel it in this game if we get
I
on
feel it
them
too.
early. You feel me? I
I
feel
feel
like
it too.
if we jump on them early, like we seen them like impressive drives. We get the ball first, take it right down the field, and we're explosive, and we can get them on a 3 and out. Maybe get a big return from Cavante Turpin, like that type of stuff. You feel me?
Or
Yeah,
block punt, or kick, or
right,
whatever.
right. That's when the blowout can come. I feel like
Blowout
this
come.
can be the blowout game. We know what
I
we
do
do
too.
on the road. We get it. We need to get better. We're probably gonna play a lot of games on the road, maybe
On the
three
road.
straight. We get it.
Hmm.
But this needs to be a blowout game, and this can be a blowout game.
Yeah, yeah,
This needs to be a blowout game, in my opinion,
yeah.
Star. That's where I'm
I
going
do.
when we end this. This,
I
to
agree.
me, in my heart, we need to blow them out.
Them out
We need
because
to blow them out.
that will give us the confidence. That will give us, because
Mhm.
this is a serious opponent. This is
Yes,
one
they're
of the
11-4.
NFC elite.
They're 11-4.
This isn't the same line. This is the NFC elite. If we could blow this team out,
Blow them
blow
out, Star.
going in the playoffs, I mean that's a huge confidence
Huge.
boost.
Yeah, we need to blow them out, Star. That's where I'm coming from right now. I was
Mhm.
thinking score, how we need to play. Nah, in my heart, we need to blow these balls. Jimmy Johnson, I know maybe the current Cowboys don't care, but we do. Play off that energy like it was crazy. We needed that energy like it was in that Philly game where it was crazy,
I
loud,
mean, right. Prime
crazy.
time.
You feel
It's
me?
prime time.
Yeah, you
Everybody
feel
will be
me?
there.
Everybody's
All
gonna
the
be there.
greats gonna be
You
there.
know what I mean? We
Troy is
need to.
calling the
You
game.
feel
This is
me? You
this is a
feel me,
game to really
Star?
show up and
We
show
need to
out.
blow. We need to like you show up. We need a 40 burger, 45-24. That's what I need. That's what I need right
Mhm.
there, Star. I just said it. 45-24. That's what I need.
Woo!
45-24.
Woo!
That's what I need, Star. That's my score.
Okay.
That's what I'm going at. I'm not saying
Woo!
nothing else for you Cowboys. Feed off that energy. 45-24, 3 interceptions. Micah with 2 sacks. I need that type of game from y'all, man. Y'all need to bounce back. 2-game losing streak. It's going to be crazy. We need this type of bounce back game, and that's what I'm going
Absolutely.
with.
Yep. I'm with that 100%. I won't do a score prediction, but I do think we've had a 2-game skid. We're back at home. This is a huge thing for our organization's history. Go out there and beat these boys, because yes, they are good, but it really is in the NFC. The 49ers, the Cowboys, and everybody else. And we
Mhm.
need to let these teams know you may be good, but you're not better than us,
Right.
unfortunately.
And we
So
need to
maybe
blow.
next year.
Mhm.
Maybe next year, but not this year. So
Yeah.
we gotta do it.
And also, in closing, I've been screaming Cardinals from like week 3, week 4 since we lost to them to Jim Joe, and that's the one. Yeah, everybody was screaming them Giants, but I'm telling y'all, Cardinals, listen to me, man. Y'all Cowboys be listening to these podcasts and listen to our Twitter. Well, Dad going to Cardinals, listen to this one, okay? Just real quick, Cardinals. I've been hyping y'all for this game for like 6-7 weeks now. I said y'all can do it. I said this could be the upset special of the year. Gannon, you as their former coach, they was talking all that trash about you before you after you left. They was dogging you, saying you this, you that. You got Kyler Murray back. I know he ain't played great, but this is the perfect game to go into Philly where they're like, oh, we're good. We're going to come back and smack them. They just struggled against the Giants. With Tyrod Taylor, if they had Tyrod Taylor all game, they would have beat them. I'm telling you, they would have beat them if they started Taylor all game. Kyler, you can beat them. You can have that game against this defense. You can have that game. Knock them out so we can at least get one home playoff game. Because in my opinion, Star, we need one.
We have one. At least, and we need at least one. And if we can do the second seed and say that the bottom seeds upset some of those other seeds, we could have 2. So we really, really want a home game. I think it's huge for us to have at least one. It's huge for us to have at least one. So yeah, Cardinals, yeah, make it happen. Make it happen. Like you play, y'all have nothing to lose. Y'all have
Everything the
nothing to lose.
game.
They have nothing to lose. Everything the
Then
game.
I
Like
make it personal. I
make
would.
it personal.
I
Yeah, make
would.
it personal.
Oh,
Make it personal.
y'all was all talking about me over there in Philly. I wasn't this, I wasn't that. I want to come into Philly with my 3 and something team and beat your
And beat
Taz.
beat them, beat them good. I
Yeah,
think it can happen. It
it
can
can
it can happen for
happen,
sure.
man. I'm telling
Because
you, this can
that
happen.
defense is that defense is not it. And they got weapons on the perimeter. They can run the ball. You got Kyler Murray, who's still Kyler Murray. Even with that leg injury, I was like, this guy looked like I don't know what he did for rehab, but it looked like he ain't lost no speed at all.
You
It's like,
feel
let's
me?
get it, like get it going, get it going, Kyler, please,
Get it going.
please help us.
Go crazy on them. But
Yeah,
hey, another great show. We're excited.
yep,
Great,
yep.
another great show. Great information. Talked a lot of good
Hmm.
stuff today. A lot of good numbers. A lot of good stats. Star always bringing it over here like we do. But
Yep.
as we get ready to head up off here, you know how we always got to end it. Make sure, from my end, please go support Star like no other. We really appreciate. We started this show. I appreciate her, responding back to me. I said I wanted to start a show with you. She jumped right on board, and we've been doing really good with these shows. I've been really excited, been having a really good time. So I appreciate the shows that we've really been doing. But please go give Star a like, a follow. I'm gonna have her give her all her information, but make sure and mention your show that you do the day before ours, and let them know all about that information. Star, before we get off here.
Yeah, thank you to everybody who has been in the chat with us and rocking with the Big Star Show. Y'all can find me on X at the Stargazer, but instead of an E in Gazer, it's a 3 and 2 R's at the end. You can find me on Facebook at Stargazer Sports Media. You can find me on Instagram at Stargazer_sports, and you can find me on TikTok at Stargazer.sports. And feel free. Shout out to the Lunatic, because I did see that you sent me a Cash App. Thank you so much for donating. I really appreciate you. And if anybody cares to still donate to my channel, Cash App, it's $ Stargazer Sports. Appreciate you guys, and let's kill the Lions on Saturday.
Did you tell them about your show that you do with Craig?
And yeah, and y'all check out. Shout out to Craven, she's in the chat. Check out Star Chasers Girls Talk Ball every Wednesday at 7:30 Central Time, 8:30 Eastern. Every Wednesday. Yeah.
Very good show. I've checked it out
Yep.
with them more than once. Very good show. That's why I make sure and tell you to tell them, because it's a good
Yeah.
show and you definitely need to check it out. Good information, good passion. Her and Craven, they go hard in the paint, and I love seeing it. So please go out there, support like no other. Continue to build up her YouTube channel, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. I don't know. They got 8 billion of them out there. They got 8 billion, so I can't keep up
Yeah.
with all. You know what I'm saying? But we
Yep.
appreciate you, Star. I'm gonna stay on here a little bit longer because I gotta say a few things. But I
Okay.
appreciate you. Jump. We had another great show. Let's go beat these Lions. Like I said, I'm gonna say it in the air, Star. 45-24. 45
Okay.
24.
45-24. All right.
That's all I want you to scream the rest of this week, Star. 45
45
24.
24. I'm gonna
All
tweet
right.
it. 45-24. All right.
All
Peace.
right.
Thank you. Thank you,
Appreciate
Big.
y'all. Take it easy.
Okay. Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna get off of here, but I'm gonna just let you see this at the bottom right here. Once again, we have my boo thing, Natalia Weston, right here. You see what we've been trying to do. I just lost my train of thought, but the GoFundMe is right there. She's been putting the link in, trying to raise 6K by May, so she can attend Italy or Greece on a trip for the students. Um, we need to raise that money. I'm gonna just tell you right now, we need to raise that money. Start it off. We got a good start, but whatever you can donate would be awesome in the streets. But we want to get that process going a little bit quicker because it's right around the corner, and we want to be able to do that. So, like I said, I'll put that out there. Make sure you check it out. I think tomorrow we're doing burgers and blitzes. We weren't able to do it Wednesday. I had to call a high school basketball game. I call high school basketball and football. So I had to call a high school basketball game yesterday. So I wasn't able to do that. But I think tomorrow we are going to do a burgers and blitzes tomorrow. So make sure you tune in that for that. And obviously we got the big game Saturday. A lot of people going to be in the house, at least for the content creators. So shout out to y'all. I saw BJ out there kicking it in the street. Shout out to y'all. Be safe. Happy holidays. Like I said, Merry Christmas. We already had that. We're coming into the new year, 2024. So, I just wish everybody a safe new year. It's going to be crazy on the streets, so be careful. Let's get this dub. Like I said, I'm screaming 45-24. This needs to be a blowout game. We really need to blow this team out as they get ready to head to the playoffs. That's what we're going to need. So get ready to head off here. Talk to y'all soon. I ain't playing no how about them Cowboys. Can't do it. Y'all ain't win. So gonna head off here. Thank you for everybody who's in the chat. Thank you for the donations. Appreciate you, the Lunatic, for the Cash App as well. Appreciate everybody in the streets. Thank y'all. We're almost at 15K. I think we only need like 75 to get to 15K. That'd be dope if we got it. So if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please go be a subscriber. We're like 75 away from 15K. That's cool. I ain't a numbers guy, but that would be nice in them streets for that to happen. All right. So salutes to everybody. Talking to you soon. Big Game James for the Big Star Show. Another episode in the books.